Hey guys, Jim Edwards here, and welcome back to the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Podcast. This is episode 71. I'm your host, Jim Edwards, along with my co-host and podcast producing guru, Mr. Stu Smith. Welcome, Stu.
Hello, Jim. Hello, everybody. Let's do this. I got a good one today.
You do?
I do.
Well, that's good. Let's hear it.
And it's all about bandwidth, scheduling, to-do lists, checklists, just getting things done and being productive.
Wow.
One thing I have learned, probably learned this long before there was a reason to stay in the house and not go outside and see people. But the importance of having a checklist, a to-do list, just keeps things organized. It also keeps your brain from spinning in circles thinking, I got to do this, I got to do that. Wait, I forgot this, I forgot that. You can just look at it and it settles the brain down so you now can focus on one thing at a time and getting things done. That's the beauty of the checklist. And one thing I've learned about this stay-at-home order, quarantine, whatever you want to call it, with COVID, is that I don't have any interruptions anymore.
Now, what kind of interruptions do you not have anymore? You still have interruptions, but what interruptions are gone now that were there previously?
Well, that's a good point. There would be a meeting. There'd be maybe an errand I need to run, but now I set them all aside and maybe do a big errand all at once versus going out multiple times a day. I don't have a workout at the Naval Academy that I have to go do with my guys. I don't have to pick up my kids from school, grab lunch, have a lunch meeting. There's just a lot of things that aren't happening anymore. And I can still get started my regular time, get my workout done. I'm back in my office by 7:15. And I am just start working. And by lunch, I have accumulated a lot of productive hours in there that most of my work is done, at least the creative side of it. That's probably my creative hours are in the morning. Eat some lunch, take a break. My son now works out with me every day after lunch, after he finishes his morning of classes. We work out. So that's fun. I don't really consider that an interruption. But I'm kind of done anyway at this time. So creatively thinking, I don't have any left. So I've changed gears and I move more into an admin side of my job and just focus on whether it's processing orders or maybe updating a system, with the back end of the sales process of, your website. Just little things like that. Nothing that requires me to generate a lot of thought. It's mostly the manual labor stuff of having your own online business.
Right. So that's kind of my thought on the 2 golden hours type principle, is that in the morning is my creative time and in the afternoons my mechanical time. Of stuff I can do, but I don't have to think the same way I have to think to write an article or to write sales copy or to edit stuff or to do those types of things.
Actually, I can do those things in the afternoon while I listen to the radio or watch TV or something, and it's not that distracting. Whereas if I'm focused on producing sales copy or writing an article or doing something else on that side of my brain, I really need quiet time and focus. So
and the big thing for me that I'm finding is that I've never really had the outside the office things. If I had to go do an errand or something, I've always been like, hey, it's happening at the end of the day. It's not it doesn't happen during the work period. I am a jerk about that around here, to the point that no one asks.
Well, that's good. I mean, you've figured out a system that works for you, and therefore whenever the system changed outside of you, it didn't affect you any.
Yeah, but what's happened is I'm busier now than I've ever been because everybody else is online or trying to be online or doing stuff. and it's not, I'm not complaining. I'm just
Yeah.
saying where other people are like, man, I'm looking for something to do. I'm like, man, I'm looking for like an hour off.
Yeah.
And that's interesting though. But the same thing of what you're saying is, on the flip side, you got to be careful about not overloading your schedule with meetings, with things,
Yes.
because I'm getting thrown for a loop now with some stuff, with some new things that we're doing that I'm having a bunch of meetings for. And I mean, it's even making my workouts suffer a little bit. Like, I haven't run yet today and I need to, and I've been going this morning since 6 nonstop, and I'm going to have stuff until 3:30 today. And
Mm.
I'm not going to be able to do my run until 3:30, 4 o'clock, which is not the best time for me. So I'm starting to think of whether I need to, even though this isn't what I like to do, I'm wondering if I shouldn't start doing my workout first, before doing anything, before even walking into my office. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be a big shift for me, but I can't let that go. You know what I mean? It's
That's been my go-to for quite some time. And I come back in, I'm clean, I'm ready, I'm wide awake, and I start working pretty well. I don't have to wake myself up,
right.
for half an hour or whatever. But I will do this too. And this was one of my, I wasn't really a distraction from work. It was actually a relief from work. At lunch, I would either go swim first or eat a really small lunch and then go swim, um, just for like 30 minutes and then come back. And that kind of woke me up a little bit. Didn't take a lot of time out of my schedule that I was already scheduled to eat lunch anyway, for that hour, and came back at 1 and was able to still get some productive things done for another hour or two if I needed it, um, from the morning. So,
Right.
um, if you can get your run in during lunch, not a bad idea. Shortens lunch. You eat less, especially if you're trying to lose weight. You eat
Yeah.
less, and then you get some activity on top of it, and it helps multiple ways. And you come back, instead of having that food coma after lunch, you actually are a little more awake and alert.
Yeah. Well, I've been taking a nap after lunch. That's what I've been. I
Well,
eat lunch and then I drink a cup of coffee and take a nap and for 20 or 30 minutes until I'm like, ping, then I'm ready to go.
that works too.
Yeah.
It's not something I do every day, but I would definitely do that as well, especially if I missed, out on a good night's sleep the night before. But anyway, the whole gist of all of this is, I saw a quote the other day by Marcus Aurelius, one of the classic Stoics from way back in the Greek days when they were sitting and thinking a lot. Um, Learn to be indifferent about things that make no difference. And I like that
Nice.
quote, and it's just
Yeah.
one of those things that make me think of, like, I waste a lot of time sometimes, um, dealing with stuff that doesn't really matter.
Right.
And I got to, whether it's, you flick over to Facebook because you got pinged on something, and then next thing you know, you've spent 30 minutes over there. It's just,
And that's something that I think a lot of people struggle with, that for whatever reason, again, you call it I call it creative procrastination,
yeah.
or strategic procrastination. It's like, I don't need to worry about this right now. I may never have to worry about this. I, you know, I, something, something, it's like, if I don't do this right now, as opposed to the other thing that I'm doing, is life going to end? No.
Mm-mm.
Is it going to piss somebody off? Probably not. I don't think the only one that cares about it is me, and it's not that big of a deal. It's like, I only go check the mail at the post office once a month. I don't go every day. Why? I mean, no bills go there.
That's a good point.
So, I mean, I walk down and check the mail, every other day at the end of the post office, at the end of the driveway, because half the time they're bringing it to me. I mean, all the little things that people worry about, it's like, you got to make a decision. I'm just not going to worry about it. The other thing is making your intentions very clear to others and the world about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and what you're doing. People will interrupt you if you let them interrupt you.
Ah,
But
that's a good
if
point.
you if you don't check your email, if you don't answer, oh, that's the other thing. My phone is always on do not disturb. My phone is never off do not disturb.
Hmm.
And I have some people that it just pisses them off like crazy because like I can never get a hold of you. Yeah. I mean, I guess you didn't make it
That's
onto the home
clever.
team of you didn't make it onto the home team of the of people that I'll let get past do not disturb. But even then I have it on vibrate.
That's really good.
And see, my system is if it's an emergency and they can't get me, they call Terry, and then Terry says, "Hey, this is what's going on." I said, "Okay, then we'll deal with this." But the phone is always on do not disturb. Now,
Yeah, I don't even have my phone. My phone's upstairs.
there you go.
Yeah, I just keep it away
So
from me.
that's why it'll never go off in the middle of a. Well, it's done it once or twice, but I mean, normally it's not going off in the middle of a webinar because it just can't. So, I mean, there's little stuff that you can do also to eliminate those distractions so you can get in the zone of getting stuff done. But I
Yes.
think the biggest thing is, like you said, it all starts with having written down what you're going to get done today and the time frame within what you're going to get it. And first time I ever met you, or soon after I met you, you told me your phrase of if it's not on the list, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
um, and that's absolutely true. But I think also it needs to be a list with time frames on your calendar of when you're going to get it done, because if work will fill the time allotted, whatever that is, on a Pareto principle or whatever, or is that the one about stupid people? I don't remember. But the point though is that if you have 2 items on your to-do list and you have all day to do them, chances are they're not going to get done, or they're
Yeah.
going to get done crappy, or they're going to get done at the end. I have always had appointments in my calendar for doing stuff. I schedule everything.
Yeah.
Do I stick with the schedule perfectly all the time? No,
Mm.
but I know that going to get done.
And the thing about
And
it, you know what gets done, but you also know what didn't get done.
right,
And you can come back to it later and say, okay, that's not a big deal. I can handle that tomorrow. You
right.
know, versus thinking in your head like there's something I forgot. I don't know what it is. And it just keeps spinning and keeps spinning. It just distracts you from anything
Right.
productive.
Exactly. It keeps you from sleeping even.
Yeah.
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 So I think that what's happened is you have eliminated the physical interruptions that used to keep you from getting stuff done. And that's why you're in the zone so much more, and you're seeing what's important and what's not really important. And so when they do let you come up out of the basement, what's going to be different, or are you just going to go back to the way things were?
Oh no, this is fantastic. I am going to continue this method of planning and scheduling so I don't have those interruptions, and I just be a little more disciplined about it as well.
Yeah, but you're
Um,
going to go back and you're going to have to go back and start training the guys at the Naval Academy
yeah, but
again. I
that's in the
can't see you doing
afternoon.
that.
Yeah, that's in the
Okay.
afternoon though. So I'm kind of done with my most productive session, and that's actually kind of a research and development arm of my business anyway. So I got
Okay.
to get it done. And so when I say it's a distraction, it gets me out of the house and I'm not doing stuff with my business that I
Right.
could be, but I just have to plan it better so it doesn't matter. So look,
So what about
I'll be honest with you. This isn't groundbreaking information we're discussing here. I mean, this scheduling is very important, you know, to the entrepreneur. But there's one thing I've learned in all this, and it's, you know, time and energy wasted reduces my focus time.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
This is groundbreaking. You're saying, this is not groundbreaking, but it is groundbreaking because you're seeing it in action. It's knowing something externally rather than, experiencing it. And everybody's like, I want to go back to the way things were. I don't want to go back to the way things were. So that's why I'm asking, how now, when everything, how now, brown cow,
huh.
when everything is back to normal, are you going to organize your day differently? Are you going to slide back into let me go to the post office for a
Nope.
little while, and then it turns into 45 minutes? And then, okay, the Heroes of Tomorrow, when that starts up again in the morning, is that going to be the same workout time as what you're doing now? Or are you going to start batching stuff? Are you going to outsource stuff? What is it? What's going to be different when things are back to the new normal or whatever it is?
Well, that's an interesting question. I don't have an answer for you, but my goal is to keep me as productive as possible for as long as possible. And the one thing I've also learned in this COVID era is that when there are multiple people trying to do meetings, and some are watching Netflix and some are on the computer doing something else, there's a certain amount of bandwidth that you have in your house. Like I can't do these videos in the afternoon anyway because my bandwidth's all jacked up because I got my dad watching TV. I got somebody doing a class for college. I got somebody doing a class for high school. And it's just the amount of bandwidth in the house is being used up on our internet. So I get shaky, streaming video issues. But we're the same way. Right?
Yes.
We only have so much bandwidth that we can actually be productive in a day.
Yep.
And if I go from 6 to 2, that's 8 hours. That's a long day of being productive. And if
And
you
that,
can do,
it's
yeah,
funny. We both get started early in the morning. I was working mentally. I was working at 4 o'clock this morning. And then it's like when 4 or 5 o'clock comes along and you're like, man, I feel like I'm breaking off. I'm taking off early. I mean, everybody's like going till 5. No, screw that. I've been going for 12 hours.
yeah,
It's okay to be done.
yeah,
So I love the metaphor of the physical bandwidth in the house is a great metaphor for the mental bandwidth in your head. At some point, you've used the bandwidth for the day
it's done.
and it's done. I didn't do that on purpose. It did that on its own. I think that
It's
key's
good,
jacked.
good. It's good timing.
It actually was. Um, so my point though, and I do have one. Am I the wizard right now? Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Um, I just totally that thing
No,
threw
you were
me.
just talking about
Sorry.
bandwidth and your
Yeah,
the
I mean the
metaphor of
bandwidth.
bandwidth.
It's just too. You've used it for the day.
Yes,
So
you're done.
go do something else.
Yeah,
Go do
hang out with
something
the family.
outside. Hang out with your family.
Yeah,
Go shopping. No, you can't do that.
yeah,
Go to the local
good.
restaurant before 50% of the other people that wanted to be there.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
Like I said, enjoy life the rest of the day, and you got some time to do it. Days are longer. Enjoy it. So
And the
anyway,
one last thing I would say to help you is, or to help anyone listening, is
sure.
figure out what time of day is your best time of day for your creative stuff versus what I call the mechanical stuff. Stu and I are both early birds,
Yeah,
but you may be a night owl and
yeah,
you may say to yourself, hey, first thing in the morning, I can barely move. I'm like a sloth. Okay, that's cool. Then don't sweat that. Just do what you need to do. And then at nighttime, if that's your creative time, then that's what you do.
yeah. My wife is a night owl, and she is productive from like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. I mean, she gets stuff done, but she's a
Wow.
damn zombie in the morning.
Yeah,
But I'm a zombie after 10 p.m. So that's just the way it works.
there you go.
So,
Cool.
but anyway, I know you have a new product that you're working on, and it's about checklists. And I wanted to check in on you, one, see how it's going, because I'm really interested because that really kind of ties into what I'm doing with kind of reforming my schedule to figure out what's the best time for me to get stuff done, and how to do that every day because every day is a little bit different with tasking. How is the JimEdwardsMethod.com wizardry creation coming, with the new checklist wizard?
So we've created this new checklist wizard that is pretty amazing, that allows you to create dynamic checklists instead of, saying, hey, you can have 5 things on your checklist, or what are the 5 things on your checklist? It's like you can have as many things on your checklist as you want. You could have 1 thing on your checklist. You could have 20 things on your checklist. It's whatever you want to do. And then the cool thing is that you can create your checklist items, and then you can also output them in a Word document, in a word processing document that you could send off to somebody and have them format it, make it look really cool, or you could do it yourself. You can also output it as PowerPoint slides so that you could use your checklist as a way to teach a class.
Hmm.
So it's really cool, versatile, and I'm sure once people start using it, they're going to come up with some really cool things that I think I may not have even thought of,
I just
if
thought of
that makes
something
sense.
really cool if you could do this. You know how those checklist articles are real popular? I don't
Oh yeah,
particularly like them because you have to click a button every time. I'd rather just have it all in one page and I can
yeah,
read the
that's a
whole
good
thing.
idea.
I bet it'd
Yeah,
be a really cool way to make a checklist article
yeah.
as
Or I
well.
could even create another wizard based on that to create a checklist article. So I could, yeah, I think I'd rather have a separate wizard, because then we can have it output your calls to action, and your email and your, yeah, I think
Nice.
that'd be a better way. I can do that. I don't know when that'll be done, but that would be a pretty cool.
But do you
Yeah,
think this
that's
new
very
checklist
doable.
wizard you're doing is coming soon?
Yes, it will be released very soon. In fact, when you're hearing this, it may already be released or may not, but yeah, it's done. I just got to release it.
So when the pool's open
Yeah, when the pool's
after
open.
Memorial Day?
After, well, Memorial Day is like 4 days away. I mean, I'm going to release it in June.
Oh,
So
okay. Gotcha. Cool. Well, that's
yeah.
awesome. Good. Well, I could use it. I mean,
Well, there you go.
I have an old school system of doing my my checklists, and it works really well. It's just my desk calendar. I'm
There you go.
not a fan of looking at a computer and or not a computer, but I have to have it written down and in front of me. It doesn't have to be handwritten, it can be typed, but it just needs to be sitting somewhere on a clipboard, or my calendar. And
Cool.
that works best for me versus I tend to lose it on my phone. Too many
Yeah,
distractions. Too many
I don't do it.
distractions on the phone. It's.
I like to write mine down. I made my own form to keep track of everything. It's the same thing. I mean, it's just having it written down on paper. I think it's part of being old school.
That is true. And
So
we have to face it.
there you go. Cool. All right, everybody. Well, that was good. And we hope you enjoyed this. If you're not a member of the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast, you should be. If you need to get in shape, go to stewsmithfitness.com. And if you want to get some really great advice on online business, head over to thejimedwardsmethod.com. And we will talk to you soon. Thanks, Stu.
All right, we'll see you.